Have you ever noticed that the more you try to control something, the more it slips away? This is the paradox of control. Life has a strange way of teaching us lessons. The more we attempt to control every little detail, the outcomes, the timing, the way people respond, the more frustrated and exhausted we become. We plan our lives down to the smallest steps, thinking that if we just try harder, push more, and never let go, things will finally fall into place. But what if I told you that the opposite is true? That the moment you stop forcing, stop grasping, and start trusting, everything begins to flow effortlessly. It's not about giving up. It's about understanding where your power truly lies. The Stoics mastered this way of thinking centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius once wrote about the importance of accepting what comes naturally and not wasting energy fighting against reality. He understood that struggling against things beyond our control only leads to suffering. The real battle is always within, training the mind to focus on what can be shaped and letting go of the rest. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. 10 powerful Stoic lessons that can transform how you approach life, relationships, and your own peace of mind. These aren't abstract ideas from ancient philosophers. These are practical principles you can apply today to live with more ease, more presence, and more acceptance. Less force, more flow. In the next few minutes, we'll explore everything from living fully in the present to understanding impermanence, to the power of silence, to finding joy in simple things. Each lesson builds on the next, creating a pathway to inner peace that doesn't require forcing anything to happen. Before we dive deep, if you find value in this ancient wisdom, I'd love for you to subscribe to STOICOCEAN. We explore these principles every week, helping you apply Stoic wisdom to your daily life. Your support helps us share more insights with people who need them. Plus, leave a comment below sharing which lesson you're most excited to learn. I read every comment, and your stories inspire others. So subscribe now, and let's begin. Lesson 1. Live fully in the present. Living fully in the present is a concept that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy. In a world that constantly pushes us to think about the future or dwell on the past, it's easy to forget the importance of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, once said, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live. While it is in your power, be good." This profound statement reminds us that time is fleeting, and the only moment we truly have control over is the one happening right now. Many of us live our lives constantly thinking ahead. What's next on the to-do list? What do we want to achieve in the future? Or what went wrong in the past? We often miss out on the richness of the present moment because our minds are elsewhere. But living fully in the present isn't just about mindfulness. It's about embracing life as it happens, appreciating the small moments, and letting go of the constant need to plan, control, or fix everything. Think about the last time you were completely present. Maybe it was while enjoying a quiet morning with your coffee, or during a peaceful walk in nature. In these moments, when your mind is fully focused on the here and now, you experience a sense of calm and contentment that's hard to find when you're worrying about future outcomes or past mistakes. Stoicism teaches that this peace is always available to us if we make the conscious effort to focus on the present. In practical terms, living fully in the present means learning to appreciate the small joys of daily life. Imagine sitting by a window, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, or hearing the laughter of loved ones. These are moments that might seem insignificant, but are actually where true happiness lies. When we focus on the present, we reduce stress and anxiety because we are not worrying about things outside of our control. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from wishing things were different than they are, or fearing what might happen in the future. By focusing on the present, we free ourselves from this unnecessary mental burden. Take a simple example from everyday life. Eating a meal. How often do you eat while watching TV, scrolling through your phone, or thinking about what you need to do later? How often do you eat while watching TV, scrolling through your phone, or thinking about what you need to do later? Now imagine sitting down to a meal and fully savoring every bite, paying attention to the flavors, the textures, and the act of nourishing your body. This is living in the present. It's about immersing yourself fully in the experience, no matter how mundane it may seem. Over time, this practice helps build a sense of gratitude for the little things, which in turn boosts overall well-being and contentment. Another powerful way to live in the present is by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated. It simply means being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings in the current moment, without judgment. It's about letting go of distractions and focusing on what is happening right now. Whether you're walking, talking with a friend, or working on a project, mindfulness allows you to engage more deeply with what you're doing, which enhances both your experience and your effectiveness. However, it's important to acknowledge that living fully in the present isn't always easy. Life is full of distractions, and our minds naturally wander to the past and future. The Stoics recognize this and encourage regular practice and reflection to cultivate this habit. The key is not to force yourself to always be present, but to gently guide your attention back to the now whenever you notice it drifting away. Each moment you bring yourself back is a small victory, and these victories add up over time to create a more peaceful, more present way of living. And remember, the present moment is the only place where life actually happens. Everything else is either a memory or a possibility. By choosing to live fully in the present, you're choosing to live fully in life itself. Now that we've explored living in the present, let's move to our second lesson, which reveals something profound about the nature of life itself. Lesson 2. Understand the impermanence of life. One of the most profound lessons in Stoic philosophy is the understanding and acceptance of impermanence. Everything in life, from our possessions to our relationships and even our own existence, is temporary. The Stoics believe that embracing this impermanence is key to living a fulfilling and peaceful life. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This stark reminder isn't meant to provoke fear, but to encourage us to live with purpose and mindfulness, knowing that nothing is guaranteed. Understanding the impermanence of life can be unsettling at first because we are often conditioned to think that things will remain the same or that we have plenty of time to achieve our goals. But the Stoics teach us that everything is in a state of constant change. Our circumstances, our emotions, the people around us, and even our own physical bodies. By accepting this fact, we learn to stop clinging to things that are beyond our control, and we can start to appreciate life as it is in its fleeting moments. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of stability. Whether it's financial, emotional, or relational, we want things to remain constant because it gives us a sense of security. However, the more we try to control and hold on to things, the more anxiety and stress we create for ourselves. Stoicism teaches us that instead of resisting change, we should embrace it. This understanding of life's impermanence helps us navigate the ups and downs of life with greater resilience and calm. Let's think about a common scenario where the understanding of impermanence can be particularly helpful. Relationships. Many people struggle with the changing nature of relationships. We meet someone, we connect, and we expect that connection to stay the same forever. But people change. We change. The relationship changes. When we resist this change, we suffer. We try to force the relationship to remain exactly as it was, and in doing so, we create tension and unhappiness. But when we accept that relationships, like everything else, are impermanent, we can enjoy them fully while they last and let them evolve naturally without forcing them into a box. The same applies to our careers, our health, and our possessions. Nothing lasts forever. And that's not a bad thing. It's simply the truth of existence. When we truly understand impermanence, we stop wasting energy trying to preserve what cannot be preserved. Instead, we focus on fully experiencing and appreciating what we have in the present moment, knowing that it won't last forever. This doesn't mean we shouldn't care about anything or invest in relationships or pursue goals. It means we do these things with an understanding that everything is temporary, which makes us more present and more appreciative. The Stoics also remind us that understanding impermanence helps us let go of attachment. We don't need to force outcomes or control everything. We can simply do our best in each moment and accept whatever comes next, knowing that everything changes eventually. This brings us to our third lesson, which builds directly on this understanding. Lesson 3. The power of acceptance. Acceptance is one of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy, and it plays a crucial role in building inner peace and confidence. At its heart, acceptance means recognizing that there are things in life we cannot control. And instead of resisting these realities, we should embrace them. Epictetus famously said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This simple but profound idea can drastically change how we approach life, helping us let go of stress, anxiety, and frustration. In life, we often expend enormous amounts of energy trying to change or control things that are completely outside our control. Whether it's other people's actions, external events, or even the weather, the Stoics believe that this struggle to control the uncontrollable is a primary source of human suffering. When we resist what is, we create tension and inner turmoil. But when we practice acceptance, we find peace by aligning ourselves with reality as it is, not as we wish it would be. To understand the power of acceptance, let's think about a common scenario: getting stuck in traffic. Many people feel an overwhelming sense of frustration or anger when this happens. They honk their horns, yell at other drivers, or sit in their cars fuming. But no matter how angry or upset they get, the traffic remains the same. It's completely outside of their control. Now, if we approach the same situation with a Stoic mindset, we recognize that traffic is beyond our control, and we can choose to accept it instead of letting frustration ruin our mood. We can use the time to listen to a podcast, practice deep breathing, or simply observe the situation calmly. This shift in mindset transforms what could be a stressful experience into an opportunity for peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of acceptance. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. When we practice acceptance, we stop fighting against reality. We stop trying to force things to be different than they are. Instead, we acknowledge what is and work with it rather than against it. This doesn't mean we become passive or give up on improving our lives. It means we focus our energy on what we can actually influence and accept what we cannot. For example, if you're applying for a job, you can control how well you prepare, how polished your resume is, and how you present yourself in the interview. But you cannot control who else is applying, what the hiring manager is looking for, or the final decision. By accepting this, you can do your best without obsessing over the outcome, which reduces stress and actually improves your performance. The Stoics also remind us that acceptance is not the same as resignation. Resignation is giving up. Acceptance is acknowledging reality so we can work with it effectively. When we accept what is, we free up mental energy that was previously wasted on resistance and denial. This energy can then be channeled into productive action that actually makes a difference. In relationships, acceptance means recognizing that we cannot control how other people think, feel, or behave. We can only control our own actions and responses. When we accept this, we stop trying to force people to change or be different. Instead, we focus on being the best version of ourselves and let others be who they are. This doesn't mean we tolerate abusive behavior or stay in unhealthy relationships. It means we stop trying to control what we cannot control and focus on what we can. The practice of acceptance requires regular reflection. The Stoics encourage us to regularly ask, what is within my control and what is not? This simple question helps us distinguish between what we can influence and what we must accept. Over time, this practice becomes natural, and we find ourselves wasting less energy on resistance and experiencing more peace. Acceptance also helps us deal with difficult emotions. When we feel angry, sad, or anxious, our first instinct is often to resist these feelings, to try to push them away. But resistance only makes them stronger. When we accept our emotions as they are, we allow them to pass through us naturally without adding extra suffering through resistance. This brings us to our fourth lesson, which takes this idea of acceptance one step further. Lesson 4, let go of control. Letting go is perhaps one of the most liberating practices in Stoic philosophy. Yet it's also one of the most challenging. We humans have a deep-seated need to control our environment, our circumstances, and even other people. This need for control comes from a place of wanting security and certainty. But the Stoics teach us that true freedom comes not from controlling everything, but from letting go of the illusion that we can control everything. When we hold on too tightly to people, situations, or outcomes, we create unnecessary suffering. We try to force things to stay exactly as we want them, and when they inevitably change, we resist and struggle. But when we learn to let go, we open ourselves to a different way of being in the world. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring or stop trying. It means we stop trying to control what is beyond our control. We focus our energy on our own actions and let go of our attachment to specific outcomes. This applies to so many areas of life. Let's think about relationships. We often try to control how others think, feel, or behave. We want them to love us in a certain way, to understand us completely, to never change. But people are not objects we can control. They have their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own paths. When we try to force a relationship to be exactly what we want, we create tension and unhappiness. But when we let go of control and allow the relationship to be what it naturally is, we create space for connection and growth. The same applies to material possessions. Many of us define ourselves by what we own, by our status, by our achievements. We hold on tightly to these things because they give us a sense of identity. But the Stoics remind us that all of this is temporary. By learning to let go of our attachment to these external markers, we cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and confidence. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." In other words, the courage to let go of attachments is what ultimately gives us freedom. Letting go also applies to our expectations. We often set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting things to turn out a certain way. Whether it's a job promotion, a vacation, or a personal project. When reality doesn't align with our expectations, we experience frustration, sadness, or even anger. The Stoics remind us that while we can control our efforts, we cannot control the outcomes. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This teaching encourages us to let go of rigid expectations and instead approach life with a sense of openness and acceptance. By doing so, we become more adaptable and resilient in the face of unexpected outcomes. Another powerful aspect of letting go is learning to release our attachment to what other people think of us. Many people feel trapped by the opinions of others, constantly seeking validation or approval. This need for external validation can cause anxiety and erode our confidence because we're always worried about how we're perceived. The Stoics taught that what others think of us is completely outside of our control. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This advice might sound extreme, but it speaks to the importance of letting go of the need for approval. When you release the need to be liked or admired by everyone, you free yourself from the constant pressure of living up to others' expectations. And this brings a sense of peace and confidence in your own path. In practical terms, letting go means focusing on what you can control and releasing attachment to what you cannot. It means doing your best without obsessing over the results. It means allowing things to unfold naturally rather than trying to force them into a predetermined shape. This doesn't make you passive. It makes you more effective because you're channeling your energy into what actually matters instead of wasting it on trying to control the uncontrollable. The practice of letting go is ongoing. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily practice of recognizing when you're holding on too tightly and gently releasing your grip. Each time you let go, you experience more freedom, more peace, and more flow in your life. Now that we've explored letting go, let's move to our fifth lesson, which helps us stay grounded in the present moment. Lesson 5. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice that has deep roots in Stoic philosophy, though it's often associated with Eastern traditions. At its core, mindfulness means being fully aware of what's happening in the present moment, without judgment or resistance. The Stoics understood that much of our suffering comes from being disconnected from the present. We spend so much time thinking about what happened in the past or worrying about what might happen in the future that we miss what's happening right now. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that much of the stress and anxiety we feel comes from our minds imagining worst-case scenarios rather than from what is actually happening. By practicing mindfulness, we bring our focus back to the present, which reduces anxiety and helps us deal with challenges more effectively. Mindfulness in Stoicism isn't just about meditation. It's about being aware of the transitory nature of our thoughts and emotions. The Stoics believe that nothing in life is permanent, not our circumstances, not our feelings, not even our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This quote reflects the Stoic understanding that our thoughts are not necessarily reflective of reality. They are just temporary mental events that come and go. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them. We realize that just because we think something doesn't make it true, and we gain the ability to let go of negative or unhelpful thoughts. Let's say you're feeling anxious about an upcoming presentation at work. Your mind is filled with worries. What if I forget what to say? What if they don't like my ideas? What if I look foolish? These thoughts create stress and tension. But when you practice mindfulness, you observe these thoughts without judgment. You recognize them as mental events, not facts. You can acknowledge them and then let them pass without getting caught up in them. This shift in perspective changes how you experience the situation. Instead of being controlled by your thoughts, you become the observer of them. This gives you space to choose how to respond rather than reacting automatically. Mindfulness also helps us appreciate the simple moments of life. When you're eating, really eating, paying attention to the taste, the texture, the experience. When you're walking, really walking, feeling your feet on the ground, noticing your surroundings, being present. These practices might seem small, but they create a foundation for a more peaceful way of living. They help us slow down and appreciate what we have, rather than always chasing what we don't. The Stoics also remind us that mindfulness helps us recognize what's truly important. When we're present, we can see clearly what matters and what doesn't. We can distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot, and we can focus our energy accordingly. Practicing mindfulness doesn't require sitting in meditation for hours. You can practice it throughout your day. When you're doing the dishes, be fully present with that task. When you're having a conversation, really listen to the other person. When you're working, focus fully on what you're doing. Each moment of presence is a moment of peace, and these moments add up over time to create a more mindful, more peaceful way of living. The key is regular practice. Just like building a muscle, building mindfulness takes time and repetition. But each time you bring yourself back to the present moment, you're strengthening this ability. And over time, it becomes more natural, more automatic. Now, we've covered 5 powerful lessons so far. If these principles are resonating with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to Stoic Ocean. We explore these timeless ideas every week, helping you apply Stoic wisdom to your modern life. Your support helps us share more valuable insights with people who need them. Plus, leave a comment below sharing which lesson you'll start practicing first. I read every comment, and your experiences inspire others on this journey. So subscribe now, and let's continue with the remaining lessons. Lesson 6. Use silence effectively. Silence is often undervalued in our modern world. We're surrounded by constant noise, constant chatter, constant stimulation. But the Stoics understood that silence has incredible power. It's in silence that we can truly listen, truly reflect, and truly understand. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple observation contains a profound truth. Most of us are much better at talking than we are at listening. We're quick to share our opinions, our thoughts, our advice, but we're slow to truly hear what others are saying. In modern life, we're often surrounded by noise. The TV is always on. Music is playing in the background. Our phones are constantly pinging with notifications. Even in conversations, we're often planning what to say next rather than fully listening to what's being said. But silence, true silence, creates space for understanding. It allows us to process information before responding. It gives us time to reflect and to listen before we speak. The Stoics teach us that silence can be more powerful than words. Sometimes the wisest response is no response at all. When someone is angry or upset, our instinct is often to jump in, to defend, to explain, to fix. But sometimes what they need most is someone who will simply listen without trying to solve everything. Silence creates space for the other person to process their own thoughts and feelings. It shows respect and allows them to find their own answers. In our own lives, silence helps us think more clearly. When we're constantly talking, we don't give ourselves time to process what we've learned or to reflect on our experiences. But when we embrace silence, we create opportunities for deeper understanding. Try this experiment. Next time you're in a conversation, make a conscious effort to listen fully before responding. Notice how much more you hear when you're not busy planning your next comment. Notice how the other person responds when they feel truly heard. The Stoics also remind us that silence protects us. Not everything needs to be said. Not every thought needs to be shared. Not every opinion needs to be expressed. When we learn to use silence effectively, we protect ourselves from saying things we might regret later. We protect our energy from unnecessary conversations, and we protect our relationships from unnecessary conflict. Silence also helps us in conflict situations. When we're in an argument, our instinct is to keep talking, to defend our position, to prove we're right. But often the most powerful move is to stop talking, to create a pause, to let silence do the work. This doesn't mean we're giving up or accepting defeat. It means we're choosing not to escalate the situation. We're choosing to let things settle before responding. This approach often leads to better outcomes because it gives everyone involved time to cool down and think more clearly. The practice of silence requires discipline. It's not easy to resist the urge to fill every quiet moment with words. But with practice, we can learn to appreciate silence and use it effectively. Start small. Try spending a few minutes each day in complete silence. No phone, no music, no conversation. Just you and your thoughts. Over time, you'll find that silence becomes a source of strength and clarity rather than discomfort. Now that we've explored silence, let's move to our seventh lesson, which challenges how we think about success and achievement. Lesson 7: Enjoy the journey, not just the destination. One of the most powerful lessons in Stoic philosophy is the understanding that true fulfillment comes not just from achieving our goals, but from the process of working toward them. In a world that often emphasizes success, achievement, and reaching the finish line, we can easily forget to appreciate the journey itself. The Stoics remind us that while goals are important, the path we take to reach them is equally valuable. Every step we take, every challenge we overcome, every lesson we learn along the way contributes to who we become. When we're constantly focused only on the destination, we miss the richness of the journey. We rush through experiences without truly experiencing them. We become so focused on where we're going that we forget to appreciate where we are. But when we learn to enjoy the journey, we find meaning and fulfillment in every moment, not just in the moment of achievement. This doesn't mean we stop setting goals or working toward things we want. It means we find value in the process itself. In our daily lives, we often set goals for ourselves: a promotion at work, a fitness milestone, a personal project. And that's good. Goals give us direction and purpose. But when we become obsessed with the outcome, when we can only be happy once we reach that goal, we set ourselves up for suffering. What happens if we don't reach it? What happens after we do reach it and the happiness fades? The Stoics teach us to shift our focus from the destination to the journey. Instead of asking, "When will I get there?" we ask, "What am I learning right now?" Instead of asking, "When will I succeed?" we ask, "What am I becoming in this process?" This shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, every day has meaning. Every step forward is valuable. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. The journey itself becomes the reward. Take learning a new skill, for example. If you're learning to play the guitar, you could spend months frustrated that you're not as good as you want to be. You could only be happy once you can play perfectly. Or you could appreciate every small improvement, every new chord you master, every moment you spend practicing. You could find joy in the process of learning itself, not just in the final result. The Stoics also remind us that focusing on the journey makes us more resilient. When we're only focused on outcomes, we become discouraged by setbacks. But when we appreciate the journey, setbacks become part of the learning process. They're not failures, they're opportunities to grow. This approach also helps us deal with the uncertainty of outcomes. We can control our efforts, our actions, our dedication, but we cannot always control the results. When we focus on the journey, we find satisfaction in doing our best regardless of the outcome. This doesn't make us less ambitious. It makes us more sustainable. We can keep going, keep growing, keep improving because we're finding fulfillment in the process itself. The Stoics encourage us to celebrate progress, not just achievements. Every small step forward matters. Every effort counts. When we recognize this, we find motivation to keep going even when the destination seems far away. Remember, the journey is where life happens. The destination is just a moment, but the journey is every moment. By learning to enjoy and appreciate the journey, we transform how we experience every day of our lives. Now let's explore our 8th lesson, which helps us find happiness in the most unexpected places. Lesson 8. Find joy in the simplest things. One of the most beautiful lessons from Stoic philosophy is the understanding that true happiness doesn't come from accumulating more, but from appreciating what we already have. In a world where people often equate happiness with possessions, achievements, and external success, the Stoics teach us to find joy in the simplest moments of life: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of birds singing, a conversation with a friend, the feeling of sunshine on your face. These are the moments where true contentment lives. But we often miss them because we're too busy chasing the next big thing. The Stoics remind us that happiness is not something we achieve or acquire. It's something we recognize in what's already here. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about the importance of finding beauty in ordinary things. He encouraged himself to look at the stars, to appreciate nature, to find wonder in simple experiences. This practice of finding joy in simple things transforms how we experience life. When we learn to appreciate the small moments, we discover that we don't need to wait for special occasions to feel happy. Happiness is available right now in this moment if we're willing to notice it. Think about your daily routine: waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, having breakfast. These might seem mundane, but they contain small moments of joy if we're present enough to notice. The warmth of the water, the taste of your food, the comfort of your bed. The Stoics teach us that contentment comes not from having more, but from appreciating what we have. When we constantly focus on what we lack or what we want, we create a sense of dissatisfaction. But when we focus on what we have, we create a sense of abundance. This doesn't mean we shouldn't work toward goals or improvements. It means we find happiness in the present moment, regardless of what we're working toward. Try this practice. Each day, take a few moments to notice and appreciate 3 simple things. Maybe it's the way the light comes through your window. Maybe it's the taste of your favorite meal. Maybe it's the smile of someone you love. When you make this a regular practice, you'll find that your capacity for joy expands. You'll start noticing beauty in places you never saw it before. The Stoics also remind us that finding joy in simple things makes us more resilient. When we're dependent on external conditions for our happiness, we're vulnerable to circumstances. But when we can find joy in simple everyday experiences, we have a source of happiness that's always available. This doesn't mean we ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect. It means we don't let problems prevent us from noticing what's good in our lives. Both can coexist. You can have challenges and still appreciate the simple joys around you. The practice of finding joy in simple things also helps us let go of the need to force outcomes. When we can be happy with what is, we don't need to constantly chase what might be. We can find contentment in the present moment while still working toward what we want in the future. Remember, the simplest things in life are often the most meaningful. A good book, a walk in nature, time with loved ones. These don't require money or achievement. They only require presence and appreciation. By learning to find joy in the simplest things, we transform ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. Now let's explore our 9th lesson, which reveals the power of spending time alone. Lesson 9, the art of solitude. In our constantly connected world, spending time alone can feel uncomfortable. We're so used to being around others, being entertained, being stimulated, that silence and solitude can seem strange or even scary. But the Stoics understood that solitude is not loneliness. It's a space for reflection, for growth, for inner peace. Seneca wrote extensively about the value of spending time alone. He believed that we need time away from others to truly know ourselves, to reflect on our actions, and to cultivate inner wisdom. Solitude allows us to step away from the noise of the world and listen to our own thoughts. It gives us space to process what we've experienced, to understand our emotions, and to clarify our values. When we're constantly surrounded by others and their opinions, it's easy to lose touch with our own inner voice. But in solitude, we can reconnect with ourselves. This doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves completely. It means we should make time for regular moments of solitude. Maybe it's a morning walk alone. Maybe it's a few minutes of quiet before starting your day. Maybe it's an evening without devices or distractions. These moments of solitude are not empty or wasted. They're opportunities for clarity. The Stoics also remind us that solitude helps us become more comfortable with ourselves. Many people avoid being alone because they're uncomfortable with their own thoughts. But when we practice solitude, we learn to be at peace with ourselves. We learn that we don't need external validation or constant stimulation to be okay. We can simply be, and that's enough. Solitude also gives us space to practice the other Stoic principles we've discussed. In solitude, we can practice mindfulness. We can reflect on what we're grateful for. We can contemplate impermanence. We can accept what is. Without the distractions of the world, we can go deeper into these practices. The key is to make solitude a regular practice, not an occasional one. Even a few minutes each day can make a significant difference. Start small. Try spending just 5 minutes alone without any devices or distractions. See what thoughts come up. Notice how you feel. Over time, you might find that you actually enjoy these moments and want to make them longer. Remember, solitude is not about escaping life. It's about creating space to live more fully. When we regularly spend time alone, we return to our lives with more clarity, more peace, and more understanding. Now let's move to our final lesson, which brings everything together in a powerful daily practice. Lesson 10. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices for cultivating happiness, peace, and resilience, and it holds a central place in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that by regularly reflecting on what we're grateful for, we can shift our focus from what we lack to the abundance already present in our lives. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." This simple truth reminds us that gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It's about living with a mindset that appreciates life's gifts, both big and small. In modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of more. More success, more possessions, more recognition. But the Stoics teach us that true happiness comes not from acquiring more, but from appreciating what we already have. By practicing gratitude, we ground ourselves in the present and experience a deeper sense of contentment regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus encouraged his students to reflect on their blessings daily, saying, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This Stoic wisdom helps us focus on the good in our lives, even when we face challenges or setbacks. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about acknowledging the positive aspects of life, even in the midst of hardship. When we develop the habit of gratitude, we train our minds to see the blessings that exist alongside the challenges. For example, if you're going through a difficult time at work, you can still be grateful for your health, your relationships, or your ability to learn. This doesn't diminish the challenge. It simply acknowledges that life contains both difficulty and blessings, and we can hold both at the same time. The Stoics also remind us that gratitude helps us let go of the need to force outcomes. When we're grateful for what we have, we don't need to constantly chase what we don't have. We can find contentment in the present while still working toward the future. One powerful way to practice gratitude is through a daily gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big or profound. They can be as simple as a good cup of coffee, a smile from a stranger, or a moment of peace. The key is to actually notice and appreciate these things. Over time, this practice trains your mind to look for and find things to be grateful for, which increases your overall sense of well-being. Gratitude also helps us in our relationships. When we express gratitude to others, we strengthen our connections. We show appreciation, which makes others feel valued. And we remind ourselves of the positive people in our lives. The Stoics believe that gratitude is not just a feeling, it's an action. We don't wait to feel grateful. We practice gratitude, and the feeling follows. By making gratitude a daily practice, we transform how we experience life. We see abundance instead of lack. We find joy in what we have, instead of constantly chasing what we don't. And we cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and contentment. Remember, gratitude is always available to us. We don't need to wait for everything to be perfect to be grateful. We can be grateful right now for what is, for what we have, for what we're experiencing. This is the Stoic way. Now that we've explored all 10 lessons, let's bring everything together. Conclusion. We've journeyed through 10 powerful Stoic lessons designed to help you live with more ease, more presence, and more acceptance. Less force, more flow. These principles aren't abstract ideas from ancient philosophers. They're practical tools you can use every single day to transform how you experience life. Living fully in the present moment, understanding the impermanence of life, practicing acceptance, letting go of control, embracing mindfulness, using silence effectively, enjoying the journey, finding joy in simple things, valuing solitude, and practicing daily gratitude. Each lesson builds on the others, creating a comprehensive approach to inner peace that doesn't require forcing anything to happen. The key message running through all of these lessons is simple. Peace comes from accepting what is. The path to inner peace is through letting go. We don't need to force life into a particular shape. We can simply do our best in each moment and accept whatever comes next. By applying these Stoic principles in your daily life, you'll find that you experience less stress, less anxiety, and less frustration. Instead, you'll discover more clarity, more confidence, and more inner peace. You'll learn to stop forcing outcomes and start trusting the process. You'll find that when you let go of the need to control everything, life actually becomes easier and more enjoyable. Remember, these aren't practices you master overnight. They're habits you develop over time. Each day you have opportunities to apply these principles. Each moment is a chance to choose acceptance over resistance, presence over worry, and gratitude over dissatisfaction. Start with one lesson that resonates with you. Practice it regularly. See how it changes your experience. Then add another, and another. Over time, these principles will become natural parts of how you move through the world. Before we close, if this video helped you understand how to live with more peace and less force, I'd love for you to subscribe to Stoic Ocean. We explore these timeless principles every week, helping you apply ancient wisdom to your modern life. Your support helps us share more valuable insights with people who need them. Plus, hit the bell so you never miss our weekly videos on Stoic philosophy. And please leave a comment below sharing which lesson you'll start practicing first, or share your own experience with these principles. I read every comment, and your stories inspire others on this journey toward inner peace. Here at Stoic Ocean, we believe that these ancient teachings are more relevant than ever today. Life doesn't have to be a constant struggle. You don't have to force everything to go your way. You can learn to flow with life, to accept what is, and to find peace in the present moment. That's what the Stoics taught us centuries ago, and it's what we explore together on this channel every week. So subscribe now, and remember, don't force anything. Let life flow naturally. Accept what is, and find peace in the present moment. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay present, stay grateful, and stay peaceful.